I've been in creative services for a long time, and I think it's so normal for creatives to fall victim to this idea of like being so passionate and really hating the idea of sales. And I think we get stereotyped into that as having this identity of just being lofty and creative and being scared to talk about money. I really like to redefine sales. I think sales is very possible for anyone, and I think a lot of us have that capability more so than what we believe. We can be a creative, we can be a business owner, we can be someone who is passionate about our work, but still understands that we are running a business and we deserve to make a living and we don't want to be a starving artist. For me, I struggled with this for a long time. Truthfully, I started to get serious about, being creative and making this a career for me back in 2011. I wanted to figure out how to make creativity work for me. And I really didn't like this idea of sales. So sales for me has kind of shifted over the years from 2011 to 2018. I just kept telling myself, I was like, if I can be more creative, or if we can do a better project, or, we get this certain client, we're going to finally get the budgets that we deserve. And there are so many different buttons that we can, input and output to get sales. But for me, what's kind of helped me is just finding the right mindset. To me, I look at sales as to sell something, you have to be helpful. To be helpful, we have to be curious. When we're curious with our clients or with the people that we're helping, we can ask better questions. When we ask those questions, we get to a better understanding. Once we get that understanding, that's when we're actually able to help and provide a solution that they can buy into. And this isn't being pushy. This is simply being helpful. So for me, that's helped me kind of unpack and build better relationships with my clients, walk through different meetings a little bit better. And, I think that's a big part of making people feel more comfortable. Looking over the years, I think one of the first key indicators for me was when I was building the business, I still worked a day job. And in that day job, I sold windows and doors, something I'm not terribly passionate about. But when I took a sales position, I was so nervous. And because I was so nervous, I actually just poured myself into learning as much about the products as possible. And I found that there was always a good, better, and best option. And anytime a customer would come in, I would be able to ask them questions, get to understand the project that was at hand, and I could kind of educate them on the different product lines, and they would make their own decision. Now, the one unfair advantage I had there was in a brick and mortar place, I would see 100 to 300 customers a day. So I got really well practiced at it. This started to build up and become frustrating for me because I couldn't understand why I could sell $80,000 to $100,000 orders of windows and doors, yet I was struggling to sell $3,000 projects in my video business. I was leaving so much money on the table. And obviously I started to reflect, and I'm like, well, why don't I just apply what I'm doing in my day job to my video business? I'd love to say that I came to that realization sooner, but it really helped me realize like there are different types of customers that have different types of problems. And the only way that I can realize that is by asking the right questions. I think before this, I was going about creativity in a very selfish way. I was thinking about how we make the better reel, how we make the better project, how we get the better tools, the better gear, all the things. Those are all important to making your filmmaking better. But ultimately, we want to make sure we're providing good solutions, that we're building a good relationship with our customers. Because if we can do that, it's going to open up the doors to better creativity as well as more clients and being able to continue to do this. At the end of the day, I think we all want to do great work. I think our clients want to be great clients. And if we can start really seeing how we can be helpful and not getting frustrated because we don't get the right budgets. Some projects are going to be awesome. Some projects are going to be somewhere in the middle. Some projects are going to be a nightmare that we have a lot to learn from. But we need to be willing to kind of look at where are our strengths, our weaknesses, and everything in between. The further I've gone in this, I started as a music video guy. And when we kicked off our commercial brand, I had worked as a freelancer for several years with video producers in the commercial space. When we entered into the space, I just felt this huge pressure and all of this different advice around you need to be emailing people, cold calling and doing all this sort of stuff. And I really got to thinking, I was like, I've built so many relationships through the music video brand and through our wedding brand. And they're little separations between these people. And the way I really want to go about building that and building this business is just by testing. I wanted to see if there was even a demand for us to get into this space, to see if our uniqueness would be of any kind of value to anyone. So the way we approached everything was, again, with this curiosity. I didn't go out and say, hey, we got a service for X amount of money. We'd love to close you tomorrow and make it about these dollar figures. Also, I didn't make past mistakes where I was like, hey, we're just so passionate and we're so excited about these things. I went in with a little more intention when we were building Mylan. With Mylan, I reached out to people that we had relationships with and we thought that we could bring value. And simply all I was trying to sell was, hey, let's hop on a call. Let's talk and get to know each other a little bit. Let's see, where your strengths and weaknesses are. And so many of these calls, I was just talking to them about content strategies, about video strategies, about how video works to build relationships. And I was just educating them. I was just sharing some of those value points. Now, not everyone was ready for a video project then, but over the last 3 years, some of those people have matured into clients and we've made some of our best work with them. It all starts with just being curious, trying to be helpful, and trying to add value. Over the years, if I look back to any success that I've had, it's all come from this curiosity and this willingness to give. So many different people building any kind of business, whether you're in the creative, whether you're running a business, you have a gift to give. And I think the more we realize that, the more we not just use that gift, but we develop it. We realize, hey, I have something special inside me. I have something that I can give to the world. It's going to help give us more fuel to keep showing up, to keep doing the things. I know I've had so many points in my career that it's like, gosh, this is tough. This is hard. I really try to see those as an opportunity to grow. As, hey, this hard thing that I'm going through right now is an opportunity for me. And I'm excited about that opportunity. So when we think about sales, when we think about building our business, I would encourage you to really rework this, to think about like, what is it that I know? What am I passionate about? What am I excited about? And how can I get curious and give that gift to other people? Go into it with a helper's mindset, a learning mindset, and just, get to helping solve problems. When we can lean into that, it's going to feel so much more natural. It's going to feel so much more comfortable. And we're going to build a business that we actually care about, something that we can show up to and that we're not just burnt out on. I know for me, there's so many different articles and pieces of content out there that are great, but there's also just as many pieces of content that are just like, this isn't for me. I'm not built for this. I'm not built like this. I guess my last little piece is like, this is my opinion. This is what's worked for me. There might be things in this that you resonate with. There might be a ton of things that you're like, that's not for me, Josh. I'm not saying do it my way. I'm saying think about what works for you. We're all a little different. We all have our uniquenesses. Let's lean into that. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. I'm trying to build the best business I can. I'm trying to do it in a way that's going to be sustainable. It's not just about the dollars. It's not just about the art. It's about making sure that I can sustain this, that I'm having fun, that I'm building a life that I want, that I'm working on projects that are lighting me up and helping be a stepping stone to the next thing and the next thing. So I hope this was helpful. It's more of a rant, but I hear so many people struggle with this sales thing. I think it's such a fun conversation to have, especially when we can kind of rework our mind to start to maybe love that sales process a little bit more.